Welcome, everybody, to the show. I am super glad that you decided to stick around for another episode of Finally Ready to Grow. Today, I am joined by the one, the only Alpha M sitting in front of me. Aaron, it's so nice for you to jump on my podcast today.
Man, Alex, are you kidding me? Like I said earlier in the video, or earlier when we just got on the call, I better talk to you. 17 years old, you're crushing it like this. You're obviously going places. So I might be asking you for a job someday. So I better talk to you.
Aaron, thank you. I appreciate it. So for those of you that don't know, Aaron has this amazing platform on YouTube. He has created over the past, you started in 2008, my friend?
Yep. 2008 was when I uploaded my first video, and I've been going strong for better or worse ever since. Yes. still trying to figure it out, but yeah, it's awesome.
So let me ask, with all of the success you've accumulated on YouTube, how have you been able to manage the ego that comes along with that? I know it's a huge struggle.
I don't know that it is a struggle. I'm sure it's a struggle for some people, but I think one of the things that I'm really fortunate for is that I had a life and failures and businesses long before I ever started posting YouTube videos. I'm 45 years old. So, I didn't start posting until I was in my 30s. A lot of these kids, or I call them kids because, now I'm an old geezer, but yeah, a lot of people I think find fame really easy and quickly when they're young. And I think this is a recipe for ego disaster. But for me, I'm ultra aware that I feel very fortunate that I can do what I do, and that I found something that I'm good at, that people sort of, appreciate, and you can make a living at it. And so I know what the other side looks like in terms of not being successful. And so I think that always, keeps you kind of on the straight and narrow in terms of your ego.
Okay.
My wife may say differently. She may say that my ego's out of hand, but she's not here. So this is my story.
Oh my gosh. So what would you say, the one or two things that might hold you back? You've accumulated so much success, but what's the thing that's holding you back from maybe adding an extra 0 to your net worth, or adding the extra 10 million subs onto your YouTube?
If you figure out how, let me know. Yeah. It's just, it's work. Everything's hard, whether or not it's YouTube, the platform changing, trying to figure out that and maintain some degree of relevance. That platform has changed dramatically and drastically over the past few years. Some has been good for me, but other things have been bad in terms of growth. In terms of adding another 0 to my net worth, man, that I'm tired. I think I'm getting a little bit cranky in my old age. No, I do the best I can, but the one thing you've got to remember is, it all sounds good on paper, but you still have to put in the work. And there comes a point at which it's just like, all right, how much money do you really need? How much, success? And so it really, you've got to just kind of weigh the, what are you willing to give up? And, I've had to give up some things, but, to take it to that next level, I guess you'd have to give up a lot more. And so I'm comfortable to some degree now.
Okay. What has been one of the biggest things you've had to give up pursuing your career as a YouTuber?
I think it's free time, really. It's I don't take a lot of time off. When you sort of are an entrepreneur and you're investing your heart and your soul and your mind and your life into your business, it's tough to sort of decompress and sort of take it offline. Most people are like, oh, I go on vacations. If you work for yourself, that's great and all, and even though you're on vacation, it's still not something where you can at least I haven't figured out a way to totally sort of wash my hands and be like, all right, cool, I'm going to go vacation for a week and not think about things. And so I guess that's one thing I've had to give up, is just a little bit of free time. And also there's something that comes with working for somebody else in terms of a lower stress level. And so when you decide to be an entrepreneur and when you are, when you've got ambition, that's something that can be a little bit tricky, because it's something that, ambition is it can get away from you a little bit, and then you chase your dreams pretty hard, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but you're pursuing it nonetheless. And it's an emotional, and there's definitely an emotional component to being an entrepreneur that's not necessarily the healthiest.
Yeah, for sure. So, coming along with that, you obviously have goals and things, and that leads to conditional happiness. Oh, one day when I get this, I'll be happy. Have you found like a good way to like control that to make sure you're not throwing everything to the side right now for some mystical goal in your life?
Yeah, my goals are pretty simple. I just want to be happy and do something that I enjoy doing. And and also take care of my friends and family and my loved ones that I can. And so, I feel super fortunate that I have, been able to do what I've done, and the fact that I have some successful businesses, and I've been more wildly successful than I ever dreamed I possibly would be. And so, when that's sort of a reality, I think for me, it's never been about the cars. It's never been about the money. It's always just been about just feeling like I made a difference and I'm fulfilled personally. And people, appreciate me. I think that's the thing that I had really been like struggling with for
Wow.
my whole life. And my definition of success is making a difference and feeling valuable, honestly.
Okay. What would your definition of happiness be?
Doing what you love, and being around people that your friends and your family, and being able to help people. Helping people, I think, is really an underestimated sort of, it's underestimated how impactful it can be in one's life.
Yeah.
And so I think helping somebody and being able to help, whether or not it's something small like opening the door for somebody, it's this amazing feeling that you get, and it really transcends every aspect of your life and your personality. And so really being able to help people, and the benefits that come along with that. And it's interesting because it's something selfless, but it's very selfish in terms
Of
of the
course.
way that you feel, right? Because when you do something nice, it's not necessarily that somebody's going to say, "Hey, thank you," even. It's just a feeling that you get just because you did something that you should do. And I think helping people is something that we all should strive to do more of.
How do we help people? I mean, some people think that, oh, you need a big bank account to be a philanthropist or something like that. But what are some good ways to help people and serve others?
I think it's volunteering your time. In terms of helping, it really depends on the situation, and the people that you are striving to help. I mean, help is a very general and overarching, like it's very abstract, right? I,
Yeah,
I want to help
yeah.
somebody. Well, it really depends on the situation and the circumstance. Volunteering is a great way. But just helping, your family, doing, if there's somebody in your family that's struggling, or in my situation, posting YouTube videos. I feel like there is a degree of them that definitely helps people, and I get, some positive responses from that, and that kind of keeps you going and hooked, and just hoping that you're making a difference in somebody's life.
Okay, okay. So talk to me a little bit about the hustle culture. I know you're such a hard worker. I mean, I've
I think
listened to a
it's
lot.
dangerous. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think the hustle culture is dangerous. I think, people like Gary Vee, right? He's
Right.
somebody that I can only take in limited doses, because it makes me feel bad for, not working as hard as him. And I think that's one of the downsides and the scary parts of this kind of culture that we are, kind of embracing from a social media perspective. Everybody's talking about grinding and working and hustling and doing this and doing that. And I think that it's dangerous to some degree, because it prevents you from really kind of analyzing and compartmentalizing your own sort of happiness and your success, and you start really comparing yourself. And
Yeah.
anytime you start comparing yourself, whether or not it's the way that you look, or your body, or your financial wherewithal, I think it's super dangerous, and it's definitely counterproductive. And so the hustle culture, I think is interesting. It's also dangerous in the sense that there are a lot of people that are selling, I think, a lot of people the dream of, hey, all you got to do is buy this course, or all you got to do is come to my seminar, and I'm going to teach you how to do X, Y, and Z. And so there's this whole, we want to believe it. It's like, wait a second, you're telling me that if I can come and take a course, or if I can buy your e-product for $2,000, that I'm going to learn everything I need to know to not have to work, and I can work for myself. It just isn't that simple. Every dollar that I've made has been hard. And I think the hustle culture, I think there's good things about it in terms of inspiration. I think a lot of people get inspired by seeing other people be successful, and think, hey,
Yeah.
if this person can do it, I can do it too. But I think there's just something you got to really just be careful when getting into that. And you've got to just celebrate the little wins, right? Because you're going to have little successes and little wins all along the way. But if you're only focused on like that North Star, I'll be happy or I'll be successful when I get X, that's a recipe for disaster, because you'll never truly be fulfilled in terms of just everything.
Yeah. No, I mean, like a little anecdote. This past fall, I was trying to do a challenge. It was inspired by Grant Cardone to see if a 17-year-old kid with no skills, no ability, no college degree or anything could make $1 million in 100 days. That was my goal. I threw away my entire life for the thing. I got a business coach. I had some awesome mentors. I even got connected with you, which is cool. But my entire life like fell apart in my hands because that was the only thing I was really focused on. So,
well, did you do it?
No, man, I came a little short. So that's okay.
So talk about, wait a second. So tell me exactly how that whole thing transpired, and what was the mechanism for you? How were you going to make $1 million in 100 days? Was it 100 days?
Yeah, it was 100 days.
Okay, so explain that to me. Go ahead.
So it originated because I'm going to college next year, but I'm pursuing an art degree, and it's something that's not very stable. Like, we all want stability, but I want to be an actor, so I needed to find the financials to pay for a really expensive college. So I was like, maybe $1 million is enough. There, in Think and Grow Rich, I know you don't read a lot of self-help books, but it talks about just setting a goal, setting a target, putting a date on it, and then just being fine with it. So I did it, and I tracked every single day. I had like my daily goals and everything, but I had no way to do it. So
that's he's at 17 years old. What was the money-making mechanism that you were what was it? You were like, okay, I'm going to make $1 million. Like, just saying it. Okay. $1 million is such an arbitrary amount of money too, right? I mean, $100,000 is a ton of money. And so, if you're able to make, $1,000 in a day of some type of income, I mean, that's a lot of money. And so what was your thought process, or what were you? Okay, so keep going. Now it's turning into a different interview. I'm interviewing you, Alex. Go ahead.
Dude, I mean, you need multiple streams of income. You already know that. So we started off, my best friend started a cryptocurrency called Astra. And so I was on that team. I got some equity in that. So it wasn't going to be a pump and dump type of cryptocurrency. We're still working on it. And so that was going to be one of the ways. The second way, I hired a business coach, and we built out an ebook on how to start a podcast. It was very simple, but I didn't want it to be like one of those courses where it's like a scam. I really wanted to increase value, give a lot of value to people. And we were just going to try to mass sell like all of these ebooks. He knows the CEO of ClickFunnels, and he is connected to so many people. It's nuts. And then I started an LLC, a marketing consulting agency. I'm working on white labeling because I don't really have the skills, all of like the graphic design or web design, to people that are really knowledgeable and know how to do that kind of thing. So I'm, again, providing value. Those three things, those were like the main streams of income. And then I dabble with the stock market. I'm not a huge success in that. My best friend is, he does them a lot better than I do, but and then the final one was real estate. I know you like real estate investing. I had some questions about that, but I'm trying to get some apartment deal with a friend of mine. So, different ways. But
hey, you throw that's it. I mean, you're absolutely, on the right track in terms of, you try a bunch of stuff, and the things that you see, things that you see a little bit of traction, you keep going, and things that you don't, it's like, all right, this didn't work, like move on next, don't get too fixated. But that's a great strategy. So that's great. Are you done the 100 days yet, or?
Yeah, dude, it ended June 1st. And I mean, obviously I didn't hit the target, but I couldn't get too bent out of shape and give up. You just have to give yourself a few days to recollect and then bounce back into it.
Did you make any money in the 100 days?
Oh yeah, man. I made some coin.
Okay. Was it, what was the primary mover in terms of finances? Was it the ebook? What was it?
It was mainly the Astra, the cryptocurrency that we started. We actually just went on the news, like our local news channel, and it was a huge story. So that was pretty sweet.
Okay, cool.
But out of that, I wanted to ask you, like, what would be your advice, Mr. Aaron, for like a young kid, 17-year-old that just is like a dog chasing a meat truck, that just is so ready to go, but like, I mean, life is hard at 17,
I do. I can't imagine how hard it is at your 17 versus my 17. My
Oh
17 was
yeah.
not that hard. It was, oh, go to college. We didn't have the internet back then. So I mean, this was a long time ago. And so there at that point, the only option was, really go to college or get a degree, and or the other option was stay at home and sell automobiles or be a car salesman or something of that nature. And so I went to college.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's you're doing everything that you should be doing. You're looking for inspiration, you're finding some, and then you're testing a lot of things. And I just filmed a video actually yesterday. I'm doing it's a video from, basically the title is From Bankrupt to 30 Million a Year. And so you'll probably check that out, right? And basically I talk about some of my my investment strategies and my financial sort of tips over the years, from being absolutely completely broke to not being completely broke. And so one of the big takeaways is try a lot of shit. Just try it and see what happens. And some things are going to work, some things aren't going to work, and you've got to be okay with that. And you're already on your way. And so keep scratching the itch, and you'll figure something out.
I appreciate it.
You already figured it out. Are you kidding me? If you have more than $100 in your bank account, you're wildly more successful than I was at your age.
Oh, dude, I appreciate it.
That's not, don't say that. It's fact.
Okay. So along with your investing strategy, I don't want to dive too much into it for people that aren't into that kind of stuff, but I heard in an interview that you don't really like the stocks, bonds. You like real estate.
So I say I don't like it. Like there are certain things, like I will buy stocks that I believe in, right? Like Shopify, I bought in at like $200. And this was simply you know what? I've got this money. I really am not a huge, investor in terms of like, the stock market or anything like that. But I'm like, okay, I've got a little bit of money. Let me buy some Shopify. And the whole reason I bought it was because I use it. And I'm like, man, these guys are awesome, right? They're bulletproof as far as, I was concerned at that point. And then another,
Lululemon, right?
I bought Lululemon, and Lululemon, it was just one of those things where it was like, I'm like, if my wife, who's pretty cheap, if she will pay $100 for a pair of leggings, then you know what, something is up here. And so when I saw that they had some issues during COVID, I'm like, oh, let me buy some of that. And then some other like Trade Desk and some other, but I also, do stupid things. Like I am not into crypto. I just didn't understand it very well. And so when I saw just sort of the craziness, I was like, okay, well, let me invest in Coinbase when they're doing their IPO. So I'm the guy that everybody made money on, right? And so I was like, all right, well, let me, I still feel good. I still hang on to that, but I will buy some stocks when I find the company that I like and I think the value's there. I also have different investments, like, I've got a Vanguard account, then I've got a Schwab account. I've got different accounts, and my company does a defined benefits plan for me. And so anyway, but I do like real estate. Yeah, I do like real estate.
What does your portfolio look like, man?
In terms of, not that much. I mean, in terms of real estate, I've got 3 rental units, 2 are commercial, 1 is a residential home. And then I've got, my office and some land and stuff. And
okay.
It's not anything crazy.
Yeah. How do you manage it all? Do you have a team that does it? Is it, because that's a lot of work in and of itself?
No, it's not, because I lease out. I literally, like, my office, I bought the building next to me. It was bank owned, and it was something where I was like, oh, I would regret not buying it because it was connected to my office. And so I bought that. A wealth management company, I leased it out to them. They've been there for like 8 years now. Every month I just get a check. Unfortunately, though, we are dealing, like, literally today I found out I need to replace an air conditioning unit. And then the other business was that I bought an old church and renovated it and created a hair salon that I am the landlord for, but then I also am 26% owner in the business of the salon. And so, so in terms of passive income, that's a great business, right? You get monthly income, and then, if the salons are very profitable business, high-end hair salons.
Yeah, you haven't paid off, right, man? Like, you don't have any debt on the hair.
I don't know. That's the one thing and that's a huge, what you talk to most every financial everybody, they'll be like, don't pay off all your real estate. Because I had to go through bankruptcy and debt really just freaks me out.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep really well at night. So it's like, you know what, let me just pay for everything cash, and it doesn't prevent me from investing other places. And so, it makes me feel better.
Okay. I heard in an interview with Jordan Harbinger, we're going to switch topics a little bit, that you were on, and you guys were talking about the importance of networking. So I want to hear your opinion. Like, how do you build a network? What, like, is it important?
Oh yeah.
All
Oh
that.
yeah. What's the saying? The saying is
Yeah. Network equals net worth.
yeah, exactly. And Jordan was the perfect example of how this was benefited him, right? Because he went through a pretty hard time in terms of, he was having a business split with his old partner. It was just a really bad scenario. But because Jordan was such a great networker and always stayed in touch with people, anybody, all these people would do whatever they want, or whatever he would need in order to help him.
Yeah.
And same sort of thing. I didn't realize the power of network until I met my friend Antonio Centeno. He was the one that kind of, prior to meeting him, I was always of the mindset of that, the whole scarcity mindset where I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to share, it's either I'm winning or they're losing, and, or they're winning and I'm losing, and they're going to try and steal. And then when I met him, he's like, no, I just, kind of want to get together, meet you. And we started this conference, met a bunch of people. That's really, in our industry, that's really when everything kind of started to scale and get better. I was around other entrepreneurs, and that's something that's incredibly powerful when you're immersed in, around people that get it. Because when I go to like a function, at my wife's friend's house, right, and talk to her husband about his 9-to-5 job and his 401, like, that doesn't get me super excited. And I have very little in common with him. But if you're an entrepreneur and you're an aspiring entrepreneur, getting around other entrepreneurs is going to light your fire. And they're also there to offer you advice and help if you ever would need it. And so I think it's incredibly important. I didn't realize how important it was until I met Antonio. And then something else I didn't realize was as important as it is customer service. And all your businesses have really, really great customer service.
Yeah, man. So
my mom taught me that lesson.
Okay. So how do you meet more entrepreneurs? I live in a small town in like upstate New York at the moment, and we have entrepreneurs, I guess, but I'm not around a lot of like-minded individuals. I have my buddies that do the cryptocurrency with me and a few other, but like, give me some
Yeah,
tips.
no, well, the internet has made everything possible, in terms of knowing and going and hanging out at like networking events. That's not necessarily going to do it right in your local area. But the fact that you do have, we do have the internet, and you can get immersed with different people, connect with different people. I mean, look what happened. You're in upstate New York, now you're connected to me. It's just it's this weird, and have you ever met Grant Cardone or any of those guys?
I have at least 4 people that are in direct contact with him. I want to get him on the show probably next week. So
okay, cool. Yeah. No, that's it. I mean, he's a testament to, he was in car sales, I believe, right. And so, just somebody who has figured it out and really has done an amazing job, growing his business. And I'm sure that a lot of people have been inspired by what he does in his story. And so, yeah, he's all about growing that net worth
all the time, man. You know how it is. But so what does your morning look like now? I mean, you hear on the internet, you got to get this morning routine for like to have the millionaire mindset and all this stuff. I know you used to like wake up super early, go to the coffee shop. I kind of was inspired, and now I wake up at 5 because of it. So
yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. My morning routine got weird because of COVID, right? When we all had to, like, that totally like threw me for a loop, because at that point, then it was like, all right, well, I'm just, getting up and I'm going. And now my morning routine is I sit in my little study and pet my cat and work and get coffee and go for a run at 8 o'clock. And so my morning routine is pretty much the same. My daily routine is the same. It's been the same essentially for the past, like, literally like 12 years. It's very consistent. And it's about getting up at a good time enough. I don't get up at 5 anymore. I get up at 6 because I don't have to get ready or go anywhere. I just have been at my house, but I'm feeling like I need to start to get out a little bit. I might even just start coming to my office first thing in the morning, just to sort of break the monotony a little bit. But yeah, every morning, same thing. I get up, I work, I plan my video for the day. I get the one that I'm going to be posting scheduled. I go for a run, and I go exercise depending on the day. I, do breakfast most days, and I'm at my office by 11 o'clock filming a video. Then it's off to the Pete and Pedro warehouse, check in with them, go see my mother-in-law. She's in an assisted living facility, go by the salon, check on everything there. Go typically have a call a few days a week with Tiege Hanley at around 3 o'clock, sit there and edit. I'll be editing tonight until probably 9 o'clock at night, go to bed, do it again tomorrow. And so that's like, it's literally the same thing every day. But that's, I think consistency is one of the tricks and the keys to just being successful at anything, right?
Yeah, of course. Does it feel like it's monotonous, of course, doing it every single day? Does it get boring, or do you really enjoy the routine that you've established over the past
Oh
however
yeah.
many years?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. I wouldn't, even if I didn't, I think about that, right? I'm like, all right, so what happens? I sell a business and, somebody dumps $100 million like in my bank account. Like, okay, financial motivation is not really there. And so do you stop? I'm like, no, I do the same damn thing. I'd probably do more things like the Alpha M project because I'd have more money. Right.
Yeah,
So
of course.
yeah, I mean, I think you find you when you would do it, even if you hit the lottery, I think that's probably an indication that you found something that you love.
Wow. Okay. So, um, I mean, a lot of people don't know your backstory, but you grew up, you had a fitness center that kind of failed.
Not
So
kinda.
yeah, it just okay, completely failed. So
Yeah.
how'd you know that you were in the right spot? Was it just trying everything like you said earlier, or
Oh, I am not that smart. I didn't know, like, it was just me just trying something that I thought was fun. And yeah, when the fitness center closed, I was personal training, and I was like, all right, well, maybe I can do this, sort of help guys like dress and help take them shopping. Back at my gym, there was a guy that I met, Steve, who wanted to know what to wear on a date. And so I was like, hey, why don't I take you shopping? And why, by the way, we need to trim your nose hairs because they're insane.
his
And
nose hairs? Yeah.
I didn't realize what I was doing, but I was setting up kind of like the framework for almost a business model. And so when the fitness center failed, it was like, well, let me see if I can do this, if other guys would actually be interested in this. And at the time it was only really like GQ magazine and Esquire that were the popular men's sites online. And so I thought maybe there's a place for just a regular guy who happens to know more about shoes than football. And that's kind of how it started. I just started posting videos, and yeah, I was hooked the first time I got a comment from somebody on my first video. And that was
Okay.
it.
Okay, cool. So how much you run now? Like I know you love running, but
I do.
how much do you run?
Typically like 6 to 7 miles a day. On weekends, I'll go 10.
That's some David Goggins stuff right there.
No, it's not. He's insane. That guy's a nut. There's another one you need to be careful watching.
Dude, yes. Oh my gosh. Have you read his book?
Yeah, I've listened to it on Audible.
Okay.
I Can't Hurt Me, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
I just finished my 100-mile bike because of reading that book. It's so inspiring and motivating.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. So I have a few more questions before we wrap
Sure.
up. All
Yeah.
right. This will be a rapid fire round. So
Uh-oh.
if you could sit down with anyone, dead or alive, and who would it be and why?
My grandfather, and he's my one of my biggest heroes, and he was an entrepreneur, and so I would love just to have another day just to talk to him and just hang out and just be like, hey, thank you for all the lessons and for being a rock in our family.
That's incredible. Okay. If you could go anywhere in the world right now, where would it be?
Honestly, I would probably go to I am in desperate need of a vacation. My wife and I were supposed to go to Florida. There's this little beach in the panhandle of Florida, this little bed and breakfast place called the Henderson Park Inn. And for whatever reason, my wife and I, it's like our place, right? There are no
Okay.
kids. It's just like awesome. You go and they take care of everything. It's a little like all inclusive, kind of like beachfront resort, but it's not like what you think of when you think of a resort. Anyway, we had a trip planned, but because her mom kind of got worse, she has dementia, we canceled our trip. And
Okay.
so it's been literally like 2 years since I've been anywhere. So if I could go
Dang.
anywhere right now, I would go there, which we're going in like 3 weeks. So
Okay.
I'm excited.
Solid. I gotta know because like we gotta put on the record. What's your goal for like, or where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
I've never made a 5-year plan because they've never worked out for me.
No.
No, never. In 5 years, I hope that I will have sold my skincare company, T. Shanley. That's kind of like a goal. I thought I was going to be able to do it in 5 years. I have not. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary. It was harder than I thought it would be, but I think that as an entrepreneur, that's kind of one of the benchmarks or the feather in your cap. Like you want to like sell one of your businesses, right? You want to grow it
Yeah.
and sell it. And so in 5 years, I am pretty confident that we'll be able to do that. The next 5 years, what else? Personally, I just want to still be happy and um, I'm not sure what it'll look like in 5 years. I just hope I'm still, alive and healthy. And I know that's a morbid thing, but as you get older, it's weird because a lot of a lot of people start to get sick
Yeah.
so yeah, I just hope that I'm still happy, healthy, and maybe one of my businesses sold. That would be great.
You think you'll still be making YouTube videos, my
I
friend?
do. I do. In 5 years, I think I'll definitely still be making YouTube videos. What they look like, I'm not sure. I kind of got to reevaluate that, but I don't know that anybody wants to watch a 50-year-old guy talk about, like trimming his pubes or anything like that. But you never know. There's a market, right? Maybe
All
we'll
right.
see.
In the final question, going along with your YouTube, man, I have to ask, how is Brenda, the spicy senorita?
Brenda, my wife?
Yeah, Brenda. It's just the girl you always refer to in your videos.
Janice, Brenda. I refer to a bunch of them. Yeah. I don't know where that even started. It was funny because I watched an old video of mine and I actually, in this video, I actually say Brenda in the video. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I've been saying that now for like 7 years. Are you kidding me?
It's so iconic, man.
Oh,
But
it's awesome. But yeah, so Brenda and Brenda Janice. I think I used Brenda in a video today I filmed. But yeah, man. Alex, I'm so impressed by you, man. This is incredible that you're doing everything that you're doing. And I mean at 17, like look out. Like, and that's kind of that's the upside. Like you are the beautiful thing that the hustle culture kind of produces, right? It's young guys who are like, well, screw it. I can do it. Like, why can't I do it? Right. Because you've been encouraged and you're watching all of these people and you've got so much more in terms of education at your fingertips than people like my age. Like we didn't have the internet. We didn't like, I didn't have anybody around me or that I had ever heard of that made any money. And
yeah,
so, so that's sort of you are the testament to what is good about it,
thank you,
and
brother.
it's really impressive to see everything you're doing. And like I said, now I know that I'm going to be asking you. That's my 5-year plan, to stay connected to you and to finally work for you when you're crazy successful.
All right. Well, before we close out, I just need to acknowledge you. I didn't get time to really go into depth on it in the interview, but if you had met me, I don't know, when I was in middle school, it would have been a mess. I mean, my parents used to dress me okay, but in middle school, I kind of took the helm and I went nuts. I mean, I was wearing soccer socks to school. My friends would be like, "Don't ever wear that to school anymore." I wouldn't shower. My hair was a mess. Like no girls would want to be around me. But then I found an Alpha M video, and I mean, everything changed. I started following Jeremy Fragrance. I started like totally doing up my hair. My hair kind of looks like yours, and I'm wearing the Henley too. So
Hell yeah, man.
yeah, dude.
And the glasses look amazing.
Thank you. Thank
Are
you.
they glassesusa.com?
No, they're just blue light glasses.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You look super smart though in them.
Thank you. Yeah, dude. I got my enemy shades, everything. I appreciate you, Aaron. You have been such an inspiration to me.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, where can everyone find you?
alpham.com. You can pretty much go there and find all of my stuff that you may want to check out. That's it.
All right. And that said and done, I will see you all in the next episode.